The knock came so loud and sudden that Mark dropped the glass in his hand. It shattered on the kitchen floor, but he didn't even blink. Because somehow, deep inside, he already knew who was standing on the other side of that door. And he was terrified. 2 days before his wedding, the last thing Mark expected was a surprise guest, especially not her. Not the one person he hoped would never show up. He stood frozen in the hallway, breath stuck in his chest. The knocking came again, stronger this time, almost shaking the door. "Boom, boom, boom!" "Mark," a soft voice from the living room called. It was Lily, his sweet, gentle bride-to-be, the woman who thought she knew everything about him. "Are you okay?" Mark forced a smile that didn't reach his eyes. "Yeah, just give me a second." His heart pounded like a drum. He took one slow step toward the door, then another. His palms were wet. His throat felt tight. 2 days until he married Lily, and the past he thought was gone forever was now right outside his home. "Please let it be anyone else," he begged silently. He pulled the door open, and his whole world stopped. There she was. Tall, strong, broad shoulders. Arms like someone who worked out every day. Her presence filled the doorway like a storm cloud. Yet her eyes, those familiar brown eyes, held something soft. Something hurt. Something that made Mark's stomach twist. "Hi, Mark," she said gently. "We need to talk." His breath caught. "Grace, what are you doing here?" Grace. The woman he once promised a future to. The woman he walked away from. The woman he never expected to see again. And she wasn't just here. She was here now, right before his wedding. Lily's voice floated from inside the house, still calm, still trusting. "Mark, who is it?" Grace stepped forward just a little, her shadow stretching across his feet. "You didn't tell her, did you?" she whispered. Mark felt his knees weaken. He didn't answer. He couldn't. Grace looked straight into his soul. "I'm not here to cause trouble," she said softly. "But you should have told her the truth. And she deserves to hear it before she becomes your wife." Mark's heart dropped. Whatever peace he had built, whatever future he thought he had, everything was about to crack open. And this was only the beginning. Lily hurried toward the door, wiping her hands on a kitchen towel. She thought maybe it was a neighbor, or a delivery person, or even Mark's best friend stopping by early. She had no idea her life was about to tilt sideways. Mark stepped halfway into the doorway, blocking most of the view, but not enough. Lily's eyes widened the moment she saw Grace. Grace stood tall, her shoulders strong, her posture firm like someone who knew exactly why she came. Her presence was impossible to ignore, steady, grounded, almost shining with purpose. Lily didn't know her, but she instantly felt a quiet tension in the air. "Mark," Lily whispered, "who is she?" Mark's stomach tightened. He could feel the truth pushing against his ribs, but fear kept locking his tongue. Grace gave a small, polite nod. "Hi, Lily, I'm—" "Someone from Mark's past." Lily blinked. "Past? What past?" Mark swallowed hard. "It's not what it looks like." Grace raised a brow at that, but her voice stayed calm. "I didn't come here to hurt either of you. I just came because Mark and I have something unfinished, something he didn't tell you about." Lily felt a soft chill slide down her spine. "What kind of unfinished thing?" Mark stepped forward, hands lifted. "Lily, please. Let me explain, just not here. Not like this." Grace shook her head gently. "Mark, you've had years to explain. She deserves better than half-truths 2 days before the wedding." Lily's cheeks warmed, and she looked down at her engagement ring. Simple, silver, meaningful. She thought she knew everything. She thought she and Mark shared complete honesty. She thought love didn't hide. Grace's voice softened. "Lily, I'm not here to take anything from you. I'm not here to fight." But I couldn't stay quiet anymore. Mark felt like the floor beneath him was cracking. "Why now, Grace?" he whispered. "Why show up today?" Grace took a slow breath. Her strong hands curled gently at her sides. "Because someone told me you were getting married," she said quietly. And when I heard it, I felt something inside me break. I realized I couldn't stay silent anymore, not without giving you the truth you walked away from. Lily's eyes darted between them. "Mark, what truth?" Mark closed his eyes. He knew this moment was coming. He just never expected it to arrive this fast. The house felt smaller than ever as Mark led Grace and Lily into the living room. No one sat. No one breathed normally. The air felt thick, like it was waiting for the moment everything would fall apart. Lily stood beside the couch, arms folded tightly across her chest. Her voice was low, steady, but trembling at the edges. "Mark, whatever this is, just tell me the truth." Mark rubbed his hands over his face. His heart felt heavy, like a weight he had been carrying for years was finally pressing down too hard. Grace stayed near the doorway. She didn't look angry. She didn't look proud to be there. She looked hurt, but strong enough to face it. Mark finally spoke. Grace and I, we were supposed to get married. Lily's breath hitched. Her hand flew to her mouth. You what? Grace lowered her gaze. Years ago, Lily, not recently. Mark nodded. It was before I met you, long before. We were young. We were planning a simple life together. Lily's voice broke. But you never told me. I thought it didn't matter anymore, Mark whispered. I was wrong. Grace took a small step forward, her voice calm and gentle. He left before the wedding day. Without a note, without a call. I waited. I worried. And then, nothing. He just disappeared. Lily turned sharply to Mark, eyes filling with confused tears. You did that to someone? Mark lowered his head. Shame washed through him. I wasn't ready. I felt trapped. I panicked, and instead of facing the truth, I ran. The room went silent. Even Grace looked down as if remembering the old wound. Lily shook her head slowly. Mark, why didn't you just tell me? You know I'm not perfect. I have mistakes too. But you let me think I knew everything about you. Mark stepped toward her, but she stepped back. I didn't tell you, he said softly, because I was scared you'd see me differently. I love you, Lily. I never wanted my past to ruin our future. Grace lifted her eyes, steady but sad. I didn't come to break you two apart. I came because I needed closure. I needed him to face what he ran from. And Lily, you deserve to know. Lily wiped her cheeks, breathing shakily. So what now? She whispered. Grace looked at Mark. Mark looked at Lily. And the truth, finally spoken, hung in the room like a storm waiting to break. Mark sat down slowly, like his legs couldn't hold him anymore. The truth was out, but the fear inside him only grew. Lily stayed standing, arms wrapped around herself, as if trying to hold her heart together. Grace watched them both quietly, her strong posture softening just a little. She wasn't here to fight. She wasn't here to win. She just wanted the truth to finally live in the open. Mark's voice came out rough. I didn't run because of Grace. I didn't run because I didn't care. I ran because I grew up watching people promise forever, and then tear each other apart. I watched my parents fall out of love, then stay under the same roof because they didn't know how to leave. I promised myself I'd never get stuck in something that could break like that. Lily blinked, surprised. You never told me that. I didn't want my past to be an excuse, Mark whispered. But every time I get close to something real, something that feels like it could last, I panic. My biggest fear isn't being with someone. My biggest fear is failing someone. Grace exhaled softly. That's why you disappeared. Mark nodded, shame rising again. I thought running meant safety. I thought if I left first, I couldn't be hurt. I didn't realize I was hurting someone else even more. Lily's eyes softened, but her voice stayed fragile. And me? What about us? All those dreams we planned. The wedding? The house? Did fear make those feel like traps too? Mark shook his head tightly. No, you're different. With you, I want forever. I just didn't know if I deserved it. For a moment, the room went still. Even Grace's expression softened with a quiet understanding. Mark, she said gently, you can't spend your whole life running from shadows. Love doesn't break because of fear. It breaks when people stop telling the truth. Lily's lower lip trembled. I wish you trusted me enough to tell me all this before today. I know, Mark whispered. And I'm sorry. I should have been brave sooner. Lily turned away, brushing tears from her cheeks. 2 days before the wedding, Mark. 2 days. How am I supposed to know what's real now? Mark stood, heart pounding. Then ask me anything. I'll answer everything. No more hiding. Lily looked at him, hurt, confused, unsure. Grace stepped back, giving them space. And just when Mark thought the worst was over, Grace's phone buzzed. She glanced at the screen and her face changed. Something else, something bigger, was about to hit them all. Grace stared at her phone, her eyes widening. Just a little, just enough for Mark and Lily to sense something was wrong. She looked up slowly, her voice quiet but steady. Mark, you need to hear this. Mark felt his stomach twist again. What now? Grace took a breath. The friend who told me about your wedding, he didn't tell me the whole truth. I came here because I thought you left without a reason years ago. But just now, he sent me a message. He said he found out why you ran. Lily frowned softly. Why? Grace looked at Mark with a mix of surprise and sadness. Mark didn't leave me because he stopped caring. He left because he lost his job, his home, and everything he owned in 1 week. He thought he had nothing to offer. He was ashamed. Mark closed his eyes. The secret he never wanted to face again was finally out. Grace stepped forward carefully. You should have told me, Mark. You should have told someone. You weren't running from love. You were running from yourself. Lily's breath softened, her anger melting into something gentler. Mark, why didn't you ever tell me this? Mark finally looked up, eyes tired but honest. Because I didn't want anyone to see me as someone who couldn't stand on his own feet. I didn't want my past mistakes to make me look weak. When I met you, Lily, I wanted to be the man you deserved, not the man who ran from everything. A long, heavy silence filled the room. Then Lily stepped closer. She studied his face, searching, thinking, feeling. Mark, she whispered, I don't need perfect. I just need the truth. Mark felt his chest tighten. I'm giving you all of it now. Lily looked at Grace, strong, calm, understanding. Then she looked back at Mark. Her hands trembled as she reached for his. So here's my choice, she said softly. Not based on fear, not based on the past, but based on what I see right now. Mark held his breath. Lily gently squeezed his hands. I still want to marry you, but only if you're ready to stop running. A tear slipped down Mark's cheek, quiet, real, freeing. I'm ready, with you. I'm ready. Grace offered a small, warm smile. Then my work here is done. For the first time that day, the room felt lighter. And 2 days later, under a simple white arch in a small American park, Mark didn't run. He stayed. He chose love, and it changed everything.